Hey guys, so today is the day for a new hostess code. The hostess code will be below. The hostess code is good now until the 23rd, I think, or the 22nd. It'll say the dates below. The hostess codes are only good for 30 days, so my days are a little wonky, kind of falling at the end of the month. Anyway, so with a new hostess code, there is a new card kit. I had to use the Coffee Cafe bundle, so I apologize if you're like, again, because I just did a video on this. But I just love this set so much. I've used it quite a bit, creating some cards, so I wanted to share it with you guys. Of course, if you're not into coffee, this can be used as a shake, hot cocoa, any other fancy drink. You don't have to use it strictly for coffee, even though the sentiments are coffee themed. I'm sure you have some sentiments in your stash that you could use. So we are going to be using Coffee Cafe for the stamp kit this month. I'm also bringing Dragonfly Dreams in just for a sentiment. So usually I just say this is your kit. This is what you'll get if you place a $50 order and you use the hostess code before shipping and tax. And then I say, I just show you the 3 cards you will receive. And then if you make a purchase, you get the exclusive video on how to put these cards together. Since I love this set so much, and since this is the first month that I'm doing the kit since the new release of the catalog, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in and share how to make these 3 cards with you. So if you have never placed an order with me, you can see how I do the card kit and how I do the video. So these are the 3 cards, the supplies you will receive to make these 3 cards. You have to place a $50 order. Anything you want. You don't have to purchase the Coffee Cafe bundle. It's not a big deal. You can purchase anything. So $50 order before shipping and tax. So if your order is $50 with tax and shipping, you won't get the kit. So make sure it is $50 before shipping and tax. And that's #1 requirement. The second one is you must use the hostess code. When you use the hostess code, that allows me to purchase the products. Now, if your order is $150, do not use the hostess code. You are your own hostess, and I will still send you these goodies. These are the 3 cards that you will be able to create. What happens is at the end of the month, at the end of the hostess code date, so July 22nd, around there, the date will be below. As long as I have the supplies on hand, I'll start sending them out. If I have to order more, it will be delayed maybe a week and a half. So just know that 2 weeks after the hostess code promotion ends, you will receive your card kit supplies. So just know I'm not going to forget you. I just may have to make another order depending on how many orders I get. So when you get your card kit, it comes in a cello bag just like this. And it has, I score and cut everything for you. Everything is prepared to go ahead and put together. The only thing I don't do is send you stamped images. I'm not allowed. So you get 3 cards, and I'm going to put these aside. And when you get your card kit, you can see the 3 cards. And then inside, I have all the supplies you will need. The only thing you will need to bring in is adhesive and ink and your stamp set. Whatever stamp set you choose. Obviously, we're using this one. I try to keep things pretty generic so you can bring in your own supplies. Also, I try to keep it where you don't need a certain sentiment in order to make the card, like from the specific stamp set. I probably just repeated myself, being everything is generic. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go and put these to the side, and we're going to work on our first card. Now, at this point, I would have ended the video, and then this part would be exclusively to the customers that made the purchase. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and work with you guys, so if you've never made a purchase, you can see how the video is run. So first you get your crumb cake card base, and as always, I always list supplies below if you're interested. So you get your crumb cake A2 size card base, and this is the card we'll be making right here. You will get your powder pink cup, and notice it's not stamped, I just die cut it. You will get your whipped cream topping. You will get your little heart DSP, and this is the coffee DSP. Of course, I will have it listed below. Your sentiment strip, your straw, your corrugated heart, and then your piece of DSP. So the colors I'm going to be using throughout the card making process are Garden Green, Early Espresso, Soft Suede, Crumb Cake, Powder Pink. Okay, and for this one you will need Garden Green and Powder Pink and Early Espresso. So I'm going to put that aside so I don't get it all inky. And, oh, you will need crumb cake, sorry. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to add this strip before I start assembling my card. So in order to do that, I need the straw stamp set. This straw stamp set. Now obviously this is really short, so we're going to be working our way down. So you'll need crumb cake. And you can do this wherever you like and just stamp all the way down. Like that. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my piece here, take some snail adhesive, and go ahead and adhere this down like that. Then we're going to work on our cup. So ideally I would stamp then die cut, but since I can't stamp for you, we're just going to have to work with stamping a die cut image. So I take my coffee cup here, and I'm going to take my Early Espresso. I just re-inked this, so hopefully it works okay and is not too juicy. And carefully line up. I'm going to have to get my head in the way. So I just lined it up as best I could, being it's die cut. It may not be perfect, but it's okay. I can always flip it over. Oops. There we go. Then I'm going to take my whipped cream topping, and I'm going to take powder pink. And this, of course, is optional. You don't have to add this part. There's a little heart in the stamp set, and I'm just going to add some little hearts. Now this card and another card was actually inspired by Stampin' Up. We get a weekly email as demonstrators, and these two cards were an example for this suite, and I am totally casing it because I loved it so much, and I thought it would be perfect for my card kit club. I'm going to take the frosting, or the Cool Whip, and you don't have to do this. If you want yours completely white, you can do that. I just wanted to give mine a little bit of dimension, so line it up again. Now with this one, it's tricky because the die cut is smaller than the stamp. So you're not going to get, mine is not that even, but that's okay. If you had stamped and die cut, it's not going to leave a white border, just like this one here. It looks perfect when you stamp and die cut, but this one isn't bad, no big deal. So there are two pieces. I'm going to take some glue dots and just add a couple to the top very edge of my cup, and literally the very edge, because this will only go a little bit behind the cup. I don't want it too far down. And go ahead and adhere this. We're going to take our Garden Green ink. I'm going to take my stamp, or my white strip. This is for the straw. Now obviously this is really long, but that's how long a die cuts. And I'm going to take my straw stripes again. And I'm using Garden Green. Of course, red and white I always think is cute. And just line that up and stamp it down. And then what I do is I just add a glue dot. And stick that where I want, like that. And we're going to go ahead and use some Stampin' Dimensionals to pop this up. sure it's straight. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white sentiment strip. Now this says, happiness is a cup of coffee shared with a friend. But all I want is the friend sentiment. So I'm going to take some masking tape and just mask this off. You can use a sticky note. I like something that is completely sticky on the whole surface. So friend is showing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it up in my garden green ink. Don't forget to remove your sticky note or whatever you use. I've stamped it down plenty of times without removing it. And I'm going to stamp towards the top like that, because I'm going to take this little strip, my little heart strip, and I'm going to put it underneath. Before I do that, I want to cut, and you don't have to, this is optional. I'm going to cut a little banner at the end here. Then again, I'm going to add glue dots to the very edge here. Now I'm using glue dots because I love them and they're easy and quick and have a great adhesive. If you don't have glue dots, use your own adhesive, whatever you choose. Go ahead and adhere this down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add stamping dimensionals to each end, because this is going to go over my little coffee cup, and my coffee cup is already raised, so it'll fit nicely in between here without the ends being kind of saggy. So go ahead and adhere that down. And then I can't forget my corrugated heart. Now Stampin' Up! Does sell the little accessories to use, but I have a few. I bought 2 packs, but just to make things a little bit easier on me, and being that I only have a limited amount, I just used the die that gives you a corrugated coffee sleeve, and then I cut a heart out of it with the Sweet and Sassy framelits. So I'm going to add a little Stampin' Dimensional to my heart and add that there. And there is the first card. So here are my 2 examples. So there's card 1. Let's move to card 2. All right, for card 2, we're going to make this one, and all you will need is your garden green ink. So here is the card, and here are the supplies we will need. You have a Pear Pizzazz card base, and then we have 2 pieces of DSP, and of course this DSP is awesome. You can use either side, doesn't matter. We're going to adhere this, and you can adhere it straight, sideways. These that I make are just suggestions. You do it however you want to. And I would love to see your creations on my Facebook page. Post what you make. I would love to see them. So I'm going to take this piece and go ahead and adhere this down like that. And then I've included a doily. These are the delicate white doilies. You get 24 to a pack. And we're going to go ahead and adhere it in the center just to kind of break up the pattern with our little coffee. Now I'm going to put these aside because we're going to then put our little coffee together. So you get 2 coffee cups, 2 lids, a corrugated coffee sleeve or embossed, and then a little oval sentiment. So the way I did this was, obviously in my sample I used a sentiment from the stamp set, but if you don't have that, you can use this coffee sleeve for this, and then if you want, you can use this for that and just stamp a little design or write your own sentiment, whatever. So there are different ways of doing this than what I did. So I tried to give you options if you didn't have the stamp set, so this didn't look so bare. Or if you have a sentiment that's large, stamp that there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our garden green ink pad, stamp the sentiment. I like to hold the ink there just for a second, just for it to soak in. Then I'm going to take my little circle, and there is a Thanks a Latte stamp. And of course, I would have stamped and then die cut, but since I cannot send you stamped images, I went ahead and die cut, so we just have to do our best to line up. Next, I want to go in and put my little coffee cups together. For this, the little sleeve, I'm going to add just some snail. And then we are adding a Stampin' Dimensional to our oval. Do that. And then for our lids, I'm going to be using glue dots again. You can use liquid adhesive if you have a fine tip glue pen. That would work. Just like that. We'll pop these up with dimensionals. All right, take my card and we're going to go ahead and adhere these two down. Kind of like to place them down together so I can get the spacing right. And there we go. And there is card number 2. So let's move on to card number 3. All right, for card 3, I want to do something a little bit different than your A2 size. So this is just a little 4x4, I believe is what it measures. Yes, 4x4 little note card. I just think it's adorable. So for this card, you have a Whisper White card base, and it measures 4x4. And you can do it this way or this way. Doesn't matter since it is the same. I think I did this top folding. Yeah, top folding. I typically think of these as top folding. Then you get a panel. So you have this, or you can do it this way, or you can do it with the coffee stain. But I wanted to show you the versatility of this stamp set, and we created a cupcake. And this is the second card that I got the inspiration off the email I received. So love this. So I thought, great, a cupcake. This is the coffee sleeve die, and then you have your little whipped cream as your frosting. So how perfect is that? If you're not into coffee, but you're really liking the cards you've been seeing, you can create cupcakes with them. So really cute, especially if you don't have a cupcake set. So you get your panel, and then you get your smaller piece, and this is a stitched square. Of course, you can use this side or this side. Then you get your coffee sleeve that we're going to use as a cupcake wrapper. You get your cool whipped cream and your sentiment strip. Now I've made this sentiment strip pretty big, so you have some options to do it all the way across. You can cut it down. I'd rather offer you something a little bit bigger if your sentiment's bigger than what I have done here. And then you get some twine. This twine is Stampin' Up! Twine, but it is retired. You use what you have in your stash. I don't have any of the new twine. I haven't placed an order for twine yet, so obviously I don't have it to use. So I'm just going to throw this in, but just know that this is retired. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and the inks we'll be using are Garden Green and Soft Suede. So first, let's go ahead and put the easy part together. Oh, and you get a little gift tag or a tea bag. You can use them both ways. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this down. I love these size cards because I feel like I can just make them really fast. And it's just nice if you need to throw it in with a gift bag, or someone at work is having a birthday party or a birthday and you just need something really quick just to leave a little note, and you don't have the, you know, full-size card where you have to fill it up. So there is that. Let's go ahead and put this aside. Let's take our cupcake and our little whipped cream. I have the stamp. I'm taking Soft Suede, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some scrap paper here, and I'm going to ink it up in Soft Suede, stamp off one because I don't want it that dark, and then go ahead and line it up. Now remember, the stamp is bigger than the die cut, so it's going to go off the edge. All right, so I'm going to take my glue dots again, add a couple to the edge of my cupcake. Little cupcake behind there. Go ahead and take some dimensionals. And how I'm going to do the dimensionals is I'm going to do one on top and then two on the bottom, because I'm going to be tying my twine around my cupcake and I want to leave space in the middle for that. Then we're going to take our little tag or tea bag, whatever you want to refer to it as. Well, tag in this case. I'm going to take this little wood grain heart that comes in the Coffee Cafe stamp set, stamp my little tag. Then I'm taking my sentiment strip. Now my sentiment is from the Dragonfly Dreams. I wanted something long, and the Coffee Cafe sentiments only have ones that fit on our coffee cups or coffee sleeve. So I just brought this in. This is available. It's not retired. It was carried over. And I'm choosing Enjoy Your Special Day. And I'm just going to cut my sentiment strip down pretty much. So I'm just going to stamp over here towards the top, and then I will trim it up to fit my card panel, the smaller one. Okay, here is my sentiment, and bring out my trusty Stampin' Dimensionals. Stamp one on each end, or place one on each end. Put that aside. Now I want to take my cupcake. So the tricky part. So I have my twine, and this twine frays very easily. So what I want to do is I want to take the least frayed, and I may have to trim it, but honestly, this hole is very small. So if you have smaller twine, I suggest using this. This is going to be the smallest twine that I have, and that probably Stampin' Up. I don't think there's going to be anything smaller. So, all right, so I got it through. Of course, I had to edit that part out. It took a while. And if you're not patient, then I suggest don't do this step. So I'm going to put a little adhesive back here so I can stick my twine down, and then I'll be able to work with it from here. And then what I want to do is tie, actually what you can do is take a trusty old glue dot just to make things a little bit easier. I want my little tag right there. That way it doesn't move on me. Alright, my bow is a little crazy, but that is okay. It adds character to my card. So I'm just going to trim off some of these crazy bits. Go ahead and take the cupcake, remove the dimensionals, pop this up, and I go ahead and kind of put it towards the top. And then I take my sentiment, and then adhere it right here. And there we go. There is card 3. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and found some inspiration. I would absolutely love if you were one of my customers. If you do not have a demonstrator, I would so appreciate your business. If you have any questions, let me know. All supplies will be listed below. And once again, the card supplies are free to make these 3 cards with a $50 purchase from my store before taxes and shipping, and you must use the HOSTESS code. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll catch you guys next time.